Hey yo, what up? It's your girl Bewitched Faun coming in with episode 7 of Faun's Horror Corner, a series where I watch a random horror movie from Tubi and we talk about it. This week I watched Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension from 2015. The description Tubi gave us was, a family finds a mysterious video camera in their new home revealing an ancient evil that terrorizes their lives and their daughter's soul. I had mixed expectations towards this. I was unsure if I'd seen it before, as I think I have, but my god, I don't remember jack shit if I did, which isn't a great sign. But also I feel like Paranormal Activity movies have come a long way. Like the first one and most of the others were pretty boring, at least to me, but I really enjoyed Paranormal Activity, the marked ones, so I felt like I was either going to love this or hate this with no in between. I thought it would have been cool to do a rundown of the whole Paranormal Activity series in chronological order, but this is literally the only Paranormal Activity movie streaming right now, at least on what I have, so the idea was shot down pretty quick. A disclaimer I'll give is the Paranormal Activity lore and timeline runs deep. This movie is somewhere in the middle, probably. All of the movies are linked somehow, and unfortunately, I just don't really want this video to be hours long trying to explain it all, so if anything gets confusing, then I'm sorry ahead of time. Let's get into it. The movie begins with immediate disarray in Santa Rosa, California. There's a guy on the floor, some lady, and he's doing some freaky shit, and then her and the kids go upstairs. They meet with their new teacher. They learn that these two strangers know Toby, and they chill with him. He talks to the kids more, but nothing I deem important, so now we're in present day. Leela and her dad are getting ready to welcome their uncle into the home by scaring him. It's pretty wholesome, but he is giving me big time Harvey vibes from Stardew Valley. This movie has so much filler conversation, and I can't even comprehend how to go about it for this, because we'll be here all goddamn day if I tell you about every minute thing they say. The mom Emily comes down and notes how massive this guy's bag is. She seems like she doesn't want him to be there long. Then in walks Skylar, who I recognized from Nancy Drew and the Chernobyl Diaries. A sudden cut and Emily isn't happy that Mike is staying for 2 weeks, but I guess he got dumped over email and is pretty crushed, as one would be, I guess. Filler conversation continues and they make fun of his mustache more. Talks about his relationship and it's really cringe and he's a bit salty. Maybe it's the Lithuanian in me, but that tree is beautiful and I am so ready for Christmas already. They're decorating outside the house for Christmas when Mike comes across an unrecognized box. Him and Ryan investigate and there's a huge ass camera and some tapes inside. Ryan plays around with the camera inside and then shows it to the family. He notes that it acts a little funky and there's an odd shape in the middle of the room. He continues tracking the shape, but things get trippy when he walks into it. He keeps playing around with it, but now it's bedtime. The parents are checking Leo's room for monsters and then they call it a night. Ryan makes note that the blob, for lack of a better word, is gone now. He's concerned about it, but his wife offers sexy time and that takes his focus. The next day, Ryan takes the camera apart. Turns out it's a custom-made camera. Now, this shit goes way above my head, but I guess most cameras of that type have 3 picture tubes, but theirs has 6 and a bunch of focus stuff on it. So now we play with the camera again. Ryan is walking around and hears his daughter talking to someone. He walks in, but clearly no one's there. She says she was just talking to her friend, and there's notably a lot of floaters around her, but when she runs off, they disappear. Ryan and Mike are hanging out, and Mike offers him some totally not inedible chocolate, and then gets straight fucking zooted. They pop a tape into the VHS player so they can watch some ancient VHS porn, which isn't exactly an activity I would want to do with my brother, but to each their own, I guess. I can't even tell if they're joking or not, I'm gonna be honest. If they're joking, then I'm sorry for ragging on them. Nonetheless, it's clearly just family videos on there. The next video is put into the player, and it is way zestier, but they get cock-blocked by an actual earthquake. Next tape, then there's a familiar scene. There's a guy talking to those kids that we saw at the beginning. They're teaching her how to see through Toby's eyes. She begins describing a room with varying details that end up identical to Leela's room, so now Ryan is tripping out. They keep watching, and Katie says that he is in that room, and then it gets spooky and the power shuts off. Ryan hears strange noises outside the room and investigates. It can be hard to see, but Ryan is following the blob with the camera. He tails it into an office where the chair moves and then it's gone. Ryan leaves and goes down a hallway with a bunch of floaters, but Mike suddenly smacks down with an epic prank, bro, and knocks Ryan on his ass. It's the next day and Mike is making fun of Ryan. Gingerbread cookies are being made and I want Christmas even more. We learn Skylar is into Feng Shui and notes that the energy feels a bit different in the house. Ryan tells the group about the activity, and in the Paranormal Activity fashion, gets a camera rig set up. Mike and Skylar are alone at the house for a bit and play around with the camera. Mike goes to grab wine as Skylar puts the camera down. Something bolts across the camera, but it wasn't noticed. Back in her hand, she tries to speak to a ghost, but Mike returns with the wine. Spooky vision now turned on, they catch movement and odd sounds. Something flies out of the pool, and Skylar takes the camera. She catches some floaters in the plants and follows the trail when suddenly Layla appears. Spooky time is over as they carry her inside. Mike updates Ryan and Emily on what happened. They note that Leela was nearly comatose, kind of like a sleepwalker. Skylar finds Emily's rosary outside where the floaters were lurking, and now we're inside chatting with Leela, but Leela doesn't want to talk about him, and that's that. Ryan is walking around with the camera, but when he sets it down, he hears banging. He starts fucking with whatever the hell those switches are, and spooky stuff starts happening. He continues walking, but hears chanting. It's Leela in front of a mirror chanting some weird shit. You see why mirrors freak me out? Fuck that. He notices blood on her hand, so the camera gets put down, she gets taken away, and Toby didn't like that. So he updates the group on it. It gets played backwards, and it turns out she's chanting Bloody Mary, but backwards. Double fuck that. My grown ass won't even entertain doing that. Ryan doesn't know what that is, so Skylar explains the lore. Basically, chant Bloody Mary 3 times into a mirror and she's supposed to appear. Mike walks Ryan to some concrete where the names of the people in the tape are on it, which means those tapes were filmed on their property. Mike digs into it, and the original house burned down in 92. No one was recovered. The entire family went poof, basically. So Ryan believes that Leela is talking to their ghosts, but Emily isn't sold on it. Ryan gets permission to set up cameras, and he puts the special one in Leela's room. We flip through the different cameras, and eventually something manifests in front of Leela, and it just keeps getting bigger and stays there for a while. 4 a.m. hits and she wakes up and speaks to him, but Skylar walks in and gets her back to bed while the spirit is lingering. But he disappears as Skylar walks into him. She continues to investigate the corner where the camera is, but Toby pops back in and basically says fuck you. She's okay, but definitely rushes out of there, and now it's the next day. Ryan tries to talk to Leela about it, but she says that it was Toby, and that's all you're getting out of her. Emily isn't sold on it, but like, did he show her the footage at all? Well, now he's showing Mike an old tape, one of the kids talking about Toby. Fast forward, the kids are a little older and they're still talking to Toby. Ryan debunks the fact that Leela could have watched a tape and learned Toby's name because she's too short and kids these days don't know how to use a VHS player, which makes me feel old. Spooky sounds start happening while everyone else is sleeping. Ryan takes the camera. The floaters appear and they're manifesting upstairs, heading towards Leela's room. He tries to follow, but to no avail. Leela gets tucked in and Toby scares the shit out of the boys and myself. It's the next day and they're debating what happened, but Ryan got Toby's face on camera. So Ryan sets the camera up in the hallway leading to Leela's room since he knows the spirit travels. We flip through the cameras and a manifestation begins on the ceiling in the hall. He does some sick shit and takes form further down towards Leela. We can't directly see, but he enters the room and tells her to get up. Thus, they get moving. She's in the living room ripping pages, turning gas on, trying to light matches. Emily wakes up and sees her, and is understandably like, what the fuck are you doing? She puts her to bed, but Toby is lurking. Emily is on the move and Toby is above her. She investigates what Leela was doing, but Toby doesn't seem to like that. He turns on the gas while Emily's whole head is in there. She walks away, but something drops in front of her and she calls for Ryan. The next day, she tells Skylar that her Bible was in the fireplace and the angel on the tree fell in front of her. All Leela had to say was her and Toby were playing games. Emily is now convinced of the activity. Her and Ryan are telling Leela to stop talking to Toby, and she isn't happy about it. Now we're back to the tapes. Ryan notes that the mom and her boyfriend are nowhere to be found in the later ones, just the kids and a weird cult. Now we flip through cameras. Ryan is still watching tapes. He thinks the kids are being trained for something. She begins describing what she sees, and she's describing the exact room that the two were in right this moment. Leela suddenly appears, and Ryan is taking her back to bed. But she sneezes, and the girl in the tape says, bless you. So he shows the girls the next day. It's daytime, but we're flipping through cameras. Leela is talking to Toby about a doorway and how she has to draw it. So she begins just that, and the parents find it. Ryan notes that the symbols are in the tapes, used by a coven called the Midwives who were into devil worship. The couple hears a strange sound coming from Leela's room, so they investigate. Leela is playing a recorder, but it sounds otherworldly and she's in a trance. She stops playing and she's in bed and out of breath. She says he is going to take her away, and Emily asks who, but there's a bang on the window. Emily investigates but sees nothing. Then Toby makes himself known. They get Leela out of the room and it's the next day. Emily is calling a priest and now they're desperate. Emily asks Leela about last night, but she doesn't remember any of it. She asks if it's Toby who's going to take her. No answer. She asks where she's going to get taken to. The answer is with the others. And now the priest has arrived. So they give him the rundown on the camera, the tapes. They show him some of the spooky footage and explain the links and coincidences, and most of all, Toby himself. The priest believes Leela is being stalked by a demonic presence. He believes that even if they leave, he's haunting Leela, so where Leela goes, he goes. Now he's trying to speak to her. He noticed Hunter is written on a chalkboard, but it's not a familiar name to anyone. He begins talking to Leela. He puts holy water on his finger, rubs it on Bubba the Bear's head, as well as Leela's. Leela goes full feral and bites the priest, and understandably he leaves. Ryan finds a tape that shows their current house exactly 3 days before they moved in. The recorder makes weird comments, and it doesn't sit right with Ryan. He doesn't think it's a coincidence that they moved in. He calls the realtor company. They've never heard of the woman or any of the records of who sold the house. Ryan thinks it was a deliberate right move to get them in there. Emily decides to sleep on the floor of Leela's room, and now we flip through the cameras. Toby manifests in the hallway and knocks the camera down, waking Ryan up. He checks on the girls and tells Emily, and then he scopes out Leela's room when suddenly she wakes up. She tells Emily not to be scared as the toy starts acting up. Mike is awake now too and is downstairs. The two are looking around when weird shit starts occurring near Mike. Mike is panicking while Toby manifests behind him and scoots. Toby knocks something down and begins manifesting near the tree and runs at Ryan as he talks to Emily. Mike and Ryan are hiding behind the counter now with no clue where Toby is. Glass shatters and Ryan takes a look. Toby manifests in front of the counter and is tailing them. Then he does some poltergeist shit in the kitchen. Now it's the next day. Emily is going to be alone for a bit as Skylar is away and Mike and Ryan are heading somewhere. Emily tries to get Leela to play downstairs, but she won't budge, and Toby is manifesting in the hall. Leela firmly stays put and starts giggling at Toby, and that's that. Everyone is home now. Ryan and Mike are digging out tapes and show Skylar a flyer for a missing poster for a kid named Hunter who shares the same birthday with Leela, notably in 2005. Ryan finds Hunter in the tapes in the hands of the cult. The weird part? The tape is from 1992, so Ryan thinks that's where Toby will take Leela. A special camera gets placed in Leela's room for the night, and now we flip through the cameras. Toby has appeared in Leela's room, and it's cracking and shaking. It seems the doorway is opening up, and it is so trippy. A boy calls for her, and she climbs up and walks inside. A pulse shoots through the doorway and knocks down the camera. Ryan and Emily wake up and can't find Leela anywhere. Mike is searching as well. They hear a noise in Leela's room, and suddenly she's back in bed. All she says to their questions is that she is going to set him free. So now they're packing up and are ready to leave, but Leela is protesting. I think they left for the night because now it's the next day and Mike and Skylar cautiously enter. Skylar is grabbing her things and says the house doesn't feel too bad. They grab things for Leela and notice a big crack above Leela's bed. Skylar finds strange drawings and they're ready to leave, but not before she looks at Ryan's research, noting that Leela's drawings look an awful lot like a picture Ryan found. Skylar reads that the blood of the chosen ones will taint something and help give life to one of the 7 princes of hell. Each prince will return through the blood of 2 born on the same moon, aka Hunter and Leela. Skylar thinks the witches are using the kids in a ritual to give Toby a human body, but they hear a door open and some creaking. Mike investigates and the front door is wide open, but no one's there. The two walk around and hear more sounds. This one is from Leela's room. The door is now shut and there's sounds behind it. Skylar opens it and Leela's in there, clawing at the wall in a trance. She says, "I am the bringer of heat." Now we see the priest again. We find out that they were at a hotel 6 miles away and Leela disappeared while they slept. The priest wants to talk to the parents. He says there's only one way to save Leela, but he's not super comfy with it. He says an exorcism won't work. She isn't possessed, so they need an extermination. He soaks sheets in holy water to trap the demon. He does some math shit to affiliate Leela's birthday with 666. He confirms Skylar's thoughts by saying he thinks witches want to give the demon life. He gives the rundown of demon entrapment plan, and now we prep for a demon be gone ritual. The house begins shaking and Toby gets angry as they get further into the process. The house shakes even worse as they continue and everyone is getting scared. Emily grabs Leela and everyone must enter the circle now. He recites Bible stuff to Leela. Her eyes turn black and she says he knows what you're doing. The lights go out and it is pure chaos. Night vision is on and everyone is panicking. The priest gets swiped away and now they can't finish the ritual. Toby manifests in front of them and leaps into the circle and seems stuck. So they grab the sheets and toss it over him and he's locked in there. Emily begins to read from the Bible and Toby is not happy and fights against it. But ultimately he disappears and Leela seems back to normal. They rejoice as the ritual seems to have worked. But Skylar isn't okay. She's choking and vomits something acidic onto Mike and then Leela runs away. Emily and Ryan chase after her. She stumbles and now the camera is angled behind her. Ryan gets taken out by Toby and then is yanked away. Emily keeps running. She enters Leela's room and sees the doorway, but Toby is running up now, so she enters the doorway. Some weird shit happened and she's walked into a strange scene, but Leela is heard nearby. She looks around and this place is a mindfuck to say the least. A girl appears and says the darkness is coming. Emily follows the girl into a dark room. As she enters, she comes face to face with black-eyed children and gets shut in there. The room changes and now the ceiling is leaking, and Leela is suddenly in front of her. It seems they got the blood they needed from Leela. She states that he is alive and real now. She walks Leela into a corner as something enters. It is a butt-naked man. Emily pleads, but he doesn't care. He chokes her and tosses her down. Leela greets a butt-naked Toby, and they walk off screen. The camera gets crushed and that's the movie. Let's get into my afterthoughts. What a fucking ride. This was actually so hard to summarize because of how it's filmed. Like, little important breadcrumbs get dropped in most conversations, so if this ends up long after editing, then goddamn, I'm sorry. All in all, I kinda enjoyed this. It gave me some jumps and it kept me interested. The visuals for Toby were absolutely cool as hell, so I'm happy to see that Paranormal Activity has strayed from what it originally was, because even a ghost movie fan like myself had trouble getting through the first few movies movies, so it's nice seeing that they kept the same format, but they made it more interesting. And my god, the lore runs so deep for this series. Like, I'm pretty sure the kid Katie is the chick in the very first movie, and the movies are all linked together. Like, it's some wild shit, and that's kind of what I like about the series. There was multiple blink and you miss it scenes in this, which I love, because when I notice it, it makes me pay more attention, which makes the scares a bit scarier, at least for me. It reminds me of the hidden ghosts in Haunting of Hill House, for example. Like, once you notice it, your attention is fixed on it, and it made the show that much scarier, especially for someone who's already scared of the idea of ghosts. I'll stop rambling though. Thank you for watching if you stuck around, and just in general, especially for this one because I think it'll be longer than usual. I upload these bi-weekly, and I will link the movie in the description if you want to watch it yourself, which I recommend you do because it was pretty cool. I will link my socials down below. However, I am mainly active on TikTok and YouTube, and I'm going to try to get back into streaming on Twitch here and there. Like, comment, subscribe if you want. I can't tell you what to do. Stay safe and spooky, y'all.